So anyway, yeah, there we go. We get two products to say, warning, do not mix. And if you're wondering why I came back downstairs, it was to get the bleach.
Yay!
Gonna do it.
We are super gonna mix them.
Yeah,
Gotta
so
kill
this is,
some
and
moths.
again, I think that's a thing that I hadn't considered because the thing I hadn't considered that because I was in the game and I was just thinking like a game logic. But yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna walk through these moths. I'm gonna make fucking mustard gas.
Yep.
To kill all of them.
What would you do?
Walk through the moths.
I'm not
You
sure.
don't know what those moths are carrying. You don't know where they've been.
I think
Here.
I also don't know if I could get out of a room. I don't know if I could get out of a place where I'm making mustard gas without dying.
so.
It's easier than you think.
Yeah. I knew some guys who did it by mistake once.
I also know several people that have done it by mistake. The best story that I've heard about this is a pair of Navy guys. My dad told me this story. A pair of sailors on a submarine were once asked to clean out a set of shower stalls.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And they decided to use bleach and ammonia with the showers running and hot steam. And someone had to run in there and pull their asses out when they fell over and collapsed.
Yeah, the usual accidental method is, let's make a super detergent.
Yep.
I think
my sister did this one time by trying to clean up cat pee with bleach.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was what happened to the dad of the McElroy brothers too.
That's why I'm concerned that bleach is considered a toilet cleaner.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least there it's watered down.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of switch is, put this on. Also, one thing I hadn't also considered before. This is the vent fan for the room. We turn it on to get all the chlorine gas out, and we're cool.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
just
we're
pumps
good.
it into the room that we're fucking standing in.
Yep. It's alright. Silent Hill really doesn't care about physics.
It doesn't. All right.
In any way, shape, or form, basically. Also...
Also, a very clever way to show her pouring the bottles that did not require them to render a liquid.
Yeah. Yeah, the low angle.
Yeah.
I think those moths would kill me. I think I get rid of them by tossing the flashlight down the hallway and drawing them off. And then I would not have a flashlight and die 3 hallways later.
Yeah, exactly.
Best not to stick my head in too far.
I was gonna make a Sentai costume.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, just get a good whiff.
Yeah.
Remember, waft.
But talking about that kind of interesting trickery, I remember that was a thing. I don't know why I'm reminded of this now. I think from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, one of the people talking about working on that movie.
Yeah, go on.
That he was instructed, because it was a fusion of live action and animation. He was instructed in any scene where he's interacting with Roger Rabbit to keep his fingers together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then people have to come in with very, very fine brushes and fucking paint Roger Rabbit in between his fingers.
Right.
Yep.
It's the little things.
Yeah. Oh, God.
The lock is broken. The lock is broken.
Heather is tired.
It's also interesting that as she does this, it's the same sound effect. It just gets slowed down the less tired she is.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that they write what's busted on the map. There have been games I've played where I had to physically take a dry erase marker and draw on my monitor what things on the maps were not
Jeez. That's rough.
James!
I used to play some complicated Flash games, okay.
Jesus, yeah, okay.
So we were going into this recording, and I had one other thing that I wanted to bring up as we were coming in. I have a question for Amanda.
What's up?
Have you read the Silent Hill comic that I got you?
Yeah, why?
Oh, okay.
Because he was going to yell at you
never-
if you didn't.
Yeah, you never told me that you did.
No, I did. We
We've
talked
never
about
talked
it.
about it. Did we?
Yeah.
A lot of bullets.
When did we talk about it?
Maybe like a year or two ago?
Can we talk about it now on recording?
I mean, I could bring it up, and I haven't picked it up for a while. Like,
Yeah. So the comic that we're referring to is called Dying Inside.
Yes.
And it has 5 different parts.
Which one is this based on?
It's not actually
It's
based
on its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it was
interesting.
from IDW Publishing, and it was the artist Ben Templesmith.
They
is
do a lot of omnibuses, I believe.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But the art in number 1 and number 2 is Ben Templesmith, who is best known for the 30 Days of Night books.
Yes.
And it's fucking brutal.
It's beautiful, is what it is.
It's gorgeous artwork, absolutely amazing. And the other artist is very, very good too, Adi Salman. And it's very interesting in that I kind of enjoyed the story of it, because the first issue, I mean, and obviously spoilers for the book, but basically the first issue is pretty much just, it starts off as just the typical Silent Hill, which is middle-aged man goes to Silent Hill on a mission involving a girl and encounters the Silent Hill. Except it quickly becomes apparent that the story's not actually about him, because he very rapidly dies.
Huh.
And no longer becomes the main character, and the main character is in fact this young girl. It tells a story of a power struggle between essentially an avatar of the entity that is Silent Hill and this girl who kind of through shenanigans attains her own like occult powers, and has some dealings with a few members of the cult kind of pop up, and the order is specifically what's mentioned, and it has a very interesting conclusion, but the whole thing is just really good.
Yeah, no,
And-
it was like the art style and the fact that they managed to tell like a story that could be encapsulated in itself.
Yeah, it's a very unique story, especially for Silent Hill, in that it doesn't necessarily deal as much with the town as an omnipresent horror as it literally gives a voice and face to the horror of the town, and that voice and face is a sassy 10-year-old that has the ability to just summon tentacles and murder you with them.
Sounds familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also takes a very an exceedingly, in fact, Lovecraftian view of the horror that Silent Hill can produce, with essentially shoggoths instead of the typical Silent Hill designs of monsters. And it's I don't know, it's just really interesting. I would definitely recommend trying to pick it up and read it.
It's an interesting development, and that's a curiosity. Now that Silent Hill is no longer like a game franchise, seeing if it goes out into like other forms of media, or if like Konami will license it out because they like money.
Yeah, these are older. They're from like 2004 through 2006, I believe.
I mean, it's not the only Silent Hill comic that's been made.
Yeah,
though.
the other one is
Right.
Anne's story, which is the story about what Downpour should have been, since Downpour is Anne's story.
It's
Yeah.
really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out that moonstone had the best item description.
It's
What
not
was
actually
it?
from the moon. It's just a type of jewel.
It is a jewel, not actually from the moon. It was in a walnut somehow.
Yeah. I mean, it's Heather. It's Heather responding to all this weird puzzle bullshit.
It was in a walnut somehow.
But like, in regards to Silent Hill as a whole, and the fact that I said earlier that there are more games in the series that could be considered bad than could be considered good at this point, I guess I'm kind of willing to be more okay with some of those bad games if I see them as just different people's interpretations of the world and not actual like canon to the universe, which is why
sure.
I like Shattered Memories and And Sam and I have talked about this many times.
Yeah,
Shattered
no,
Memories
I
is
mean,
silly as fuck, but it's not necessarily a bad game.
No, I like it.
my problem with Shattered Memories isn't that it mucks around in the Silent Hill universe. I think its interpretation of Silent Hill is actually fairly impressive for what it is. I dislike Shattered Memories because it lies to you and has terrible game design and is in fact not a horror game. The thing that I really appreciate about Silent Hill is that because it is such a nebulous idea, we get some human connections with it, with the the order and the various branches of the cult and like the ways those play out, and what influences they bring onto the the terror that Silent Hill is. But other than that, I mean, it's very unknowable and
Terrible, unknowable, dark.
Yeah, and I like the fact that how many different interpretations of it there are actually just add to that. You know, like the fact that it can be Silent Hill 3 and it can be Downpour and it can be Homecoming. Like also a fun way to view it is like the Silent Hills that you get in those games are equal in proportion to the characters in those games. Silent Hill Homecoming is a shitty Silent Hill. Like the town itself and the influences and the ways it portrays itself are terrible because Alex Shepard is just a really shitty character.
Yeah. Also, I try to read this description a bunch of times, but the problem is that the game does not pause when you're reading things.
You're gonna have to kill it. You're gonna have to kill it.
No, I'm not
It's
gonna
locked.
kill it. I'm just gonna leave.
It's Final Destination 5000 something.
Getting punched in the back of the head by a sausage man.
Just
The
kill
thing
it.
is, I'm not gonna kill it because I'd basically have to use my gun to fight it, and I don't want to use up all my bullets.
You have 90 bullets.
And I'm gonna need all of them eventually.
You'll get more.
Yeah.
Look his head wiggle.
Yeah. No, I love the random like head wiggling.
Yeah, so we just blew through that description.
Yeah, no, because I don't get time to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Pause it if you want to know what it said. I would have, but we're timing this and everything.
Yeah, it talks about the descent of the moon, correct?
Yeah, that's why you use the moonstone.
Mm-hmm.
The moonstone.
The moonstone.
It was in a walnut somehow.
You're in a walnut.
How'd they get into the walnut? Does that
Heather
door
has
not open
no
if you have
time.
the...
In a nutshell, James.
Does that door not open
so
unless you have the proper walnut?
Piling upon the 300th day and night from beyond this door, cries of pain are heard, and the final destination has become real, though not a blessed beginning.
Yes.
Sounds like intro to a boss room to me.
The final destination.
It's also noted that
series was okay.
it's also noted that the door that requires the moonstone is marked by a blue version of the save point.
Mm-hmm.
That will gain importance later on. I also like that you actually have to climb down this ladder. Actually,
Mm-hmm. Until you hit a cutscene.
There are many climbing of ladders in this game.
Yes, I'm going
It's almost
to
like
a place.
that's a concurrent theme.
Couldn't tell you what it means.
it's also a really easy way to hide a loading screen.
Yep.
You know what I'd like to see?
What's that?
I don't know. Maybe some sort of big mutated
Jump
penis.
scare.
I don't know. Just
So-
thinking out loud.
Man, this
what
must
else?
be a really unsatisfying LP for people who haven't played this before.
I'm so sorry.
Oops, broke the ladder.
Well, we all know how much Manda likes dicks, so...
Yeah. Gotta be
You
me.
can't get enough of them.
Really, though. Yeah, me too, Heather, right?
Yeah. Oh God, why are these all these holes in the wall?
I
Hey!
have
So
an,
one
I have
thing
an
that's
idea for the other
interesting.
vlog.
So one other thing that's interesting to note here about this boss, the split worm, is while yes, its worm shape does in fact make it look like a penis. You can also argue for some vagina imagery in that some lips split open and a head crowns up to bite you.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like-
no, I would argue that this is significantly more vagina imagery. I mean, it's genitals in general.
It's like a
It's
like a
genitals
first
in
year
general.
Freud discussion.
Yeah.
Which is my cover band name.
It's also interesting that
coloring.
this is also a coming to the parallels of Silent Hill. It's also very similar to the first boss of Silent Hill 1, the Split Head.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fight that is very kind of silly to watch because if you do it right, then Heather just kind of stands back shooting this giant monster with a handgun for like 5 minutes.
What would you do?
Yeah.
I just like that it's like this gun should not be able to hurt this thing.
Only if you hit it in the gaping maw.
It's sensitive at the tip.
Only if I hit it in its weak spot, yeah.
Oh no.
I was trying to back away, but I was trying to run away, but it wouldn't get out of caution mode.
So about the other blog.
Now's not the time, James.
This is exactly the time.
Hit me.
What else are you doing for the next 5 minutes?
Besides watch a worm thrash around.
I can do that at home. Wait.
I can do that right now.
Besides, I'm sure it already exists.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know that one with Robbie the Rabbit exists.
Ugh.
So, can I just say that I really actually like this boss fight quite a bit.
It's different.
It's different, but it's also like it significantly ramps up the like bullshit that Heather is dealing with just right away.
Yeah.
And
it's that.
And really, the fact that you there's essentially like no build up to the boss itself.
There's just a ladder, basically.
Yeah, you finish a level and walk and go down a ladder, but like it's just all of a sudden like, oh yeah, no, everything, it really is fucked.
And it's also one other thing that's interesting to note that also goes along with the imagery from the Split Worm is that the incantation in A Door Before You Meet It talks about the 300th day and night, and some would argue that 300 days is 300 days is very close to can be considered very close to 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually 10 months if you want to like split hairs, but
you mean heads?
yes. If I want to split, yeah. I want to split some worms.
That worm had a backing track from a Tom Waits song.
Oh,
Worms away on business.
That's good. So, I just out of curiosity, I knew that it was significantly longer than 300 days, but I wanted to, because obviously worms have imagery that goes along with decomposition, and
crawling through dirt,
crawling through dirt, and etc. So I just typed into my Google search bar, how long does it take for a body to decompose? No question mark or anything, and Google just popped up the big box answer of 8 to 12 years.
That's probably until it skeletonizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
To decompose to a skeleton. Yeah.
yes, my gatekeeper.
Yes.
Are you the keymaster?
I want to go to Sunshine Princess.
Orange Field.
I want to go to Natural Shop, whose logo is just Natural Shop with a horse next to it.
Wonder what they sell.
Horse and horse-related items.
Natural, though.
Horses and horse byproducts.
Glue.
Yes.
Horses and horse accessories.
Gelatin.
Most lipsticks.
Also, man, you can tell what era
Beef jerky.
When I first saw this, I'm like, why are all these suitcases hanging from the phones? And it's like, all right.
Wow.
Phone books used to be something that people
I'm
used.
younger than you, Matt.
I remember
Matt
there's
lives in a
in
technological
that
city.
vein. I'll just talk about like I've been recently watching X-Files, and there's an episode where Mulder pulls out a projection slide, and for a long time I really was convinced it was an iPad
Oh.
because it's the right size and shape, and it has a big black like outline. And I'm like, wait, no, fucking, this is 1993.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
believe.
Future tech. Put it in the projector.
Matt, there's literally nothing interesting left in this mall. We
You
killed
guys
it
remember
all.
Transparencies?
I want to read some. I
Yes.
want to read. Yeah.
Vaguely.
Man,
I
yeah,
still
the
use
overhead
them.
projector.
Mm-hmm.
You ever
Yes,
have a
I
teacher
remember.
that had like the plastic screen on the winch?
Mm-hmm.
That they can move around instead of wiping the overhead projector down every time.
That's how I learned how to draw.
Transparency.
And that's also a good way if you want to do a wall mural, to put it on an overhead projector and then sketch out the projected image.
Yeah. That much I know. Then it's just, color in the lines.
Yeah, paint by numbers. And now we can go. There we go. I was looking for the Happy Burger, which has some stuff in it. I also just wanted to read the rest of the signs in the place. So get off my dick.
So about the other blog. All right, now you had a rule against that one.
Yeah.
Hell, I might still be sleeping here. I wish I was. Actually, she uses the proper grammar and says "were."
Don't go in the bathroom. Lucas Kane's in there.
It's okay. I can't open the door.
The lock is broken.
Go steal all the Happy Burgers.
Oh, look, there's this weird menu.
It's interesting. We didn't have a interaction with the with any memories that time.
I mean, it's not gonna have a soliloquy for all of them. So here,
I couldn't remember if it did or not.
If you want to see the weird depth of field stuff, it becomes the most apparent in this because there's a lot of zoom in.
Mr. Shelby.
What just happened?
You must be one of them.
What did I do?
Also, Havoc's Business Daily.
Oh yeah.
You're in on this with that Claudia, aren't you?
Claudia? What about her? She asked me to find you, that's all.
So you are one of them.
Claudia did all that? Look, I was just hired to find you.
I did,
Not
so
on
goodbye.
anybody's side.
You are
I
here.
don't know anything
I am
about
here.
this.
Anybody's side.
Why don't you start by telling me what happened here? And that monster. What the hell was that?
Overacting or
I don't know any more
underacting?
than you do.
Yes.
All I know is that things are getting really screwy around
It's like
here.
overly expressive but
And
underly
having feelings
emotional.
got something to do
Mm-hmm.
with it. Maybe you're just an innocent bystander, but I can't feel sorry for you because you dragged me into this.
So
I stole so many
If you
bullets.
hadn't found me,
So
What are
feisty.
you talking about? What's so special about you anyway?
ouch,
if I
Douglas.
knew that, I
I-
wouldn't be so confused, would I?
He was hired to find her. Why would you ask that
I know
question?
there's something. Something I've been
You're a
waiting for
wizard, Heather.
for a long time.
Subway. Eat fresh.
Eat fresh. Look at the red under her
Oh
eyes.
yeah, I see it. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How did I remember that?
What's wrong?
And it's only the most apparent because she's standing right in front of a sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking
You notice
myself
suddenly
away.
that some parts of it are readable.
Yeah.
Streets.
So
What should I
one of the
do?
things I'd like to point out before the video ends, and as the cutscene finishes up, is how much I love how vague all of that is.
Yes.
We don't get any proper description and nothing specific.
Are you
I mean, that's kind of. I think that's
know.
kind of, and it's sort of stilted because of I think the Japanese writing, but it is sort of an apt thing if like you went through this whole like fucking hellscape and you found somebody else like, did you see that? Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. When for the moment, we will pause this conversation and talk to you all next time.
Later.
Good night,
Good night, Internet.